Hello
Whew.
and welcome, everyone.
So you get for making me wait.
Yes, 2 minutes before before our scheduled time.
I
Well,
got
I
too
didn't.
comfy.
And considering there's nobody in here yet, we didn't make anyone else wait. Oh, look at that! My lampshade. It's crooked. That always bothers
What
me. I always try to
lampshade?
the lampshade in the background. See that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's not even a little bit.
No, I gotta
It's
go
a
fix
sharp
that. Go entertain everyone
angle.
for a
I'll go
few
right ahead.
seconds. All right.
Welcome to episode 196 of Retro Fandango. I don't know what's going on because Kevin started posting tweets about stuff. Didn't tell me what it is.
What'd you talk about while I was gone?
Absolutely nothing.
Good. Good filler.
I did
Excellent.
my best.
Well, I feel better now. That was making me feel uneasy. I usually
Hmm.
fix that before we start, but
Well, why was it askew?
it just goes askew. Like it's not a proper lampshade for that lamp. That lamp is actually Sarah's grandmother's from the 60s,
Hmm.
and the lampshade on it was really old and yellow. So she wanted to replace it. So she got that white one,
Hmm.
and it doesn't really fit in there securely.
But I don't see what's gonna make it go. Are you sitting under it and then like tilting it to get
Just
a better
walking
look?
by it will cause it to, because
Okay,
it's just sitting on the thing, right?
just the
So
slightest tremor. Okay.
yeah, it doesn't take much.
Well, at least that's good for you because sitting here with your back to it, it's kind of like a failsafe. You can secretly be watching that, and then if somebody's trying to sneak up on you, the little
Yeah,
vibrations will give them away.
yeah. There you go. See? Um, let's do the house cleaning first. We'll talk about a few things. Let some people come into the room if they do show up. If not, it's fine. It's all good. And
It
then
might
we'll get
not be
in.
enough notice. People need that full 2 weeks.
We are recording early. There is only a week between episodes, which has not been the norm for us for a while. But
Maybe they've weaned off us, so they don't have such a high tolerance anymore. They need that 2 week buffer.
yeah, could be. Well, the reason why we're recording this Friday is because next Friday it'll be Christmas Eve, which means Richard would be recording on Christmas morning, which
Exactly.
that won't happen. And then
That ain't gonna happen.
the next weekend is New Year's New Year's Eve,
Hmm.
which means Richard would be recording on New Year's Day.
That doesn't bother me in the slightest.
Not really. Like I
Like
usually
that will be time off, so I'd rather just sleep in. But I have no connection to New Year's.
me neither. Like I haven't stayed up for New Year's to watch the ball drop in a very long time. I can't remember the
Hmm.
last time I did it. I usually just go to bed. I don't.
I don't even like looking at my watch on New Year's Day because then it just reminds me, like, all these people walking around, just making a big deal out of one day going to the next.
People are the worst.
Oh, there's a new number on the calendar. Look at that, 2022.
Yeah, and it's just us counting it. We have absolutely no
It's an
reference. We
anniversary
don't
of
know what
when
it
we
means.
started keeping track.
Well, and it's not even when we started keeping track. It was like 300 years after the fact, and there was just a group of guys sitting at a table, and they said, "Well, we should start right here because we think that's when Jesus was born. So
Hmm.
let's just start it there." And that was 300-400 years after the fact.
Hmm. You gotta celebrate something, I guess.
So there's like there was no. That's why like there was no year zero, right? People weren't just walking around like, "Hey, we started counting like last month," you know.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Happy New Year.
But I wasn't sure if I'd be home for New Year's, but I think I will be now.
Oh,
Yeah.
quite the schedule, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, we are going to visit some family over the holidays, even though Omicron seems like it's going to try to spoil everyone's fun again this year.
It sounds like an '80s Christmas special. Like Omicron is coming, and then
Yeah, it's going to ruin
He-Man
Christmas.
and Optimus Prime got to team up, save Christmas.
Yeah. Well, everyone's all in a tizzy here because, the cases are going up. We had 3,000 cases today, which is an astronomical number considering over the summer, like there was, 150.
3,000 nationwide?
No, just in Ontario, I believe.
Ooh.
Yeah. Out of
My goodness. What are you people, what did you stop doing the masks and everything?
No, it just I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Well, I mean, it's like the sporting events, all that stuff. People are going out, they're going to concerts, going to restaurants.
Yeah.
I think people are still wearing masks, but it's very laissez-faire and just causing numbers to go up. But the majority of people who are getting it are fine. They're not going to the hospital, right?
Well,
They
I
just-
had two comments on that thing. Yeah. One is this new Omicron thing apparently isn't all that tough. It's just like getting a regular cold.
right. Well,
They still like counting it because they can scare you on the news.
well,
Like, oh, look at the cases.
and if you're that's because you're double vax, right? You got the vaccine, so you should be fine. There are people who do get it and have been double vax and do end up in the hospital because the thing is only 70 to 80 to 85, somewhere around there, some sort of protection coverage. So there are people that do end up in the hospital who have been double vaxxed, but the vast majority of the people who are in the hospital are are unvaxxed people. Well, the percentages. See, here's the other thing too, is they'll say, there is so many people who are in the hospital right now. 75% of them have been double vaxxed. So only 25% of unvaccinated people are in the hospital. And all the unvaccinated people are like, there, see, told you, getting the vaccine stupid, getting it dumb. But when you were looking at 85% of the eligible people who have gotten the vaccine in Ontario, there's only a small, amount of them that have ended up in the hospital. Where if you look at the small number of people who haven't been vaccinated, a large number of their people are in the hospital. So you gotta look into the stats. Like you gotta look into the numbers behind the stats or the
Numbers behind the numbers.
no, yeah, like the context. You got to put things into context. You can't just say, "Well, this is it."
It's true. My other comment was going to be that in my prefecture, we have had 0 cases for 33 days.
So you guys are just doing the masks and the social distancing and.
Well, I mean, a lot of people getting vaccinated and all that, but nothing's really changed. Plus, Japanese people, they like wearing masks in the winter anyway.
Yeah.
So people, and they don't really like socializing, with strangers. They will do their little, get-togethers, and those things get wild. But there was actually a cluster in Okinawa that was just reported yesterday of about like 100 people, but that took place on a U.S. Army base.
Ah, of course.
And those knuckleheads, they're always getting into trouble.
Right. Okay, we haven't even done the house cleaning yet, so let me get to that. Let me get that out of the way. Cartridge Club this month is playing Final Fantasy VII. That's how I remember things. Do the show.
You got to physically pull the thoughts out of your head.
I'm not a very bright person, so this is what I got to do. RF Gen is playing nothing this month. They're taking the month off, I believe.
I'm totally joining them.
And Beat the Bandy this month, Beat the Duke is Hogan's Alley. I went over to their Discord and I got some ideas of what the rules are for this. And the rule is you have to stand 4 feet away from the TV.
You have to stand 4 feet, but your arm can extend beyond your feet?
That was one of the first questions. So the gun itself has to be 4 feet away from the TV. But it doesn't say what you have to point it at. So you can still point it at the light bulb and just... I've never actually tried that. Does that work? If you point the NES like at a light bulb?
I don't know. That's one of those things I never heard about until I was older.
I heard about it when I was a kid. they would say that when I was a kid, but I didn't have a zapper. I didn't have an
When I
NES.
was a kid, I would actually try to play the game for the fun of it. I didn't care about the score. I just wanted to shoot the ducks. You know.
My buddy Frank, his dad was really hooked on Duck Hunt. When we were kids, we'd hang out in Frank's room, and then his dad would be in the next room uh, playing this Duck Hunt game. And he got really far one day, and then like we heard him playing, and then all of a sudden we heard like this something snap, and then him just snap, and some cuss words came through. And we walked over and like, oh, what's going on? The I guess the Nintendo glitched out or something like that. And he put that zapper down, and he never touched it again. He was done. Done.
You know, I can't think of a single adult I knew that actually played the Nintendo when I was a kid. I mean, my uncle would play, but like I'd drag him in and we'd play some 2-player games.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as an adult really getting deep into a game. Oh, other than Tetris. Like I had a bunch of aunts and uncles that would play Tetris.
Yeah. Well, to be clear, this was the only game he ever played. Like he did not play anything else. And it's because he was into hunting and that. And at the time, like the NES was kind of passe. This was like well into the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis era. So it was kind of like the Nintendo was put on like the other TV to let Dad play his Duck Hunt game because we weren't going to use it.
Yeah, that Nintendo glitch, they get you in trouble. I remember being at a friend's house. I don't know what game he was playing, but I'm sitting there watching him play, and he's doing pretty good in whatever it is. And then I realized that the little door was open on the NES.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just sitting there watching him. I got nothing else to do. So I figure, all right, let me go flip that thing down. Boom. Reset the game.
Oh, no.
I got in trouble.
That sucks. Why would closing the door just reset the game? I guess it was just sitting there just so, right?
Well, sometimes, yeah, that's all it takes. Maybe the cart was kind of dusty and just that little vibration.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me of a movie I just watched that I wanted to talk to you about before we got started into our main event.
Okay.
Which everybody is excited for. So we could see the tons of people who are waiting.
Oh my goodness. Look at that.
Yeah.
We're chomping at the bit. They want us to get right to it.
I watched a movie called 8-Bit Christmas. This is a brand new movie that's out. It's actually directed by the guy who directed Goon.
Oh,
the first Goon.
I don't know who that is.
Not your weird Goon that you watched, the very first Goon, and Canadian guy.
Do you remember the Goons from Popeye? They're like these goofy looking things.
No, like the
little heads and big arms. Yeah, they were the Goons. You go to the island of the Goons.
No, it sounds like you're having a dream right now. I've never seen that.
Popeye Goons.
Anyways, this movie stars Neil Patrick Harris.
Doogie.
And he's going around with his daughter. And, he's like, she wanted a phone. She wants a phone for Christmas. He's like, you're not getting a phone. And she's like, didn't you want something when you were a kid, Dad? And he's like, yeah, I wanted a Nintendo Entertainment System. And he starts thinking back, and the magic starts happening. We're back in the 1980s with a young Doogie Howser looking for a Nintendo, which kind of doesn't line up because I remember Doogie Howser was already a teenager by the time the NES was a thing. He was a teenager on TV. So he was a little bit older. And there was a lot of things in the movie that doesn't exactly line up in the 80s. Like the movie takes place in 1988, and the mom wanted leg warmers, which was way out of fashion by then. Just a few little things like that.
Well, that sounds like somebody writing a script and saying, 80s, what's an 80s joke? Leg warmers. Oh, this is great.
Well, and then the sister wanted a Cabbage Patch doll, which was, by 1988, you can get a Cabbage Patch doll anywhere. The fad was...
Yeah, that was the early 80s.
Yeah, like 82, 83, that's when that was really crazy. Oh, man, we all got alarms going. Was that the alarm that was going in the other room the other day?
No, this is I set a alarm on my phone, which I don't normally do, as a emergency get up because I had a hard time getting up on Thursday, so I set this on Friday, but apparently I set it for every day. That's
It
my
happens.
that's my last chance. Get out of bed right now.
Have you ever slept through an alarm?
Yes.
See, I can't do that. I've never slept through an alarm. They always wake me up.
Well, I think lately a couple of the alarm clocks that we have been kind of buggy. I know one for sure stopped working a few months back, and then the other one that we've been using, and I don't know. Occasionally, I'm shocked at just how we sleep through it. So I don't have a whole lot of faith in that alarm.
You got a lot of stuff going on over there.
That was some sort of notification.
Well, anyways, 8-Bit
I'm a popular
Christmas.
guy. You know?
It's a complete ripoff of A Christmas Story. It's like the same
Okay.
thing.
Mhm.
Right,
I
instead of
want
a Red
it.
Ryder
I got to
BB
tell
gun,
everybody. Okay.
he wants an NES. Instead of the bunny rabbit PJs, he's got pink boots. Instead of glasses, his thing is a retainer. And it gets kind of silly in some parts. Like there's this part where they go on a field trip to buy this NES, and it kind of gets to be a little bit too much. But overall, it was all right. It was pretty good.
So it's just an obvious knockoff and catered towards the collector crowd for video games, nostalgic.
Yeah,
NES
it's
people.
definitely a thing from our era, but it was well done. Like it was good. It wasn't bad. Like, and there was a lot of stuff in there, like not just nostalgia in terms of like, oh, I remember that or I remember that, but there was the kid who had the NES before anyone else had it, right? And he would hold it over everyone's head that he had the NES. I knew a kid exactly like that, you know. The big bully, you know, the kid that was like there was a kid in my grade 8 class who was 16 years old. There's a kid that's like that in this.
16?
Yes, he failed his grades so many times. So there's a kid like that in this movie.
Was
So
he
there's a lot of,
Goon? Did he grow up to be Goon?
I don't know what he grew up to be. I have no idea. No idea what he's doing.
Maybe he's
now.
still there.
Maybe. I remember we were in grade, I can't remember what grade that would have been. Let's see. If he was grade 16, or he was going to turn 16 in grade 8. Let's see, 8 minus 7. So it was grade 5. We were grade 5, and he was turning 13. And when we were kids, we thought when you turn 13, when you turn to be a teenager, you got the seed in you.
The seed?
Yeah, you got seed. Like you could pass on your seed.
Okay.
so we all thought he had the seed because he turned 13.
The seed. All
The
right.
seed. Come on. It's not like today where you have the internet and you can just look up whatever and figure it all out for yourself. We heard a thing about there was a seed.
Okay.
The guys get a seed when you turn 13.
So you're imagining like a big stone from like the center of an avocado?
No. No. We knew a little bit more than that. Just a bit more. But anyways, I do recommend 8-Bit Christmas. It was a fun movie, even though it is just derived of other things. The dad's a grouch too. Instead of working on a furnace, he's a carpenter. So he does a lot of carpentry stuff and all that. But
Well, you've increased my interest in watching A Christmas Story because I don't think I got to it last year. So.
Oh, well, that's good times. But I don't know. If you see it there, the 8-Bit Christmas, I still recommend to watch it.
Okay.
Okay, what do you want to do? You want to talk about the Tremors podcast, or you want to?
I don't know. I kind of just threw stuff in there because I don't know how much time you're taking up with your big plan here.
I don't know how much time it's going to take either. So,
yeah. I wrote that down because yesterday I did listen to the final episode, which anyone who hasn't been keeping up with it, it was supposed to be 6 episodes, but they went 7. secret episode at the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you sat through it all.
It's a podcast, so I just, when I noticed that it was up, I just, all right, let me listen to this. Each one of them is like 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's probably comprised of the things that didn't make it into like bonus features on a Blu-ray release.
Right.
It's just a lot of stories you've heard before, a couple things maybe you haven't, but meh, you're not missing much. Although they did have, they had the two writers. Yeah, everybody got their own episode. So two writers, producer, special effects guy, director Ron Underwood. Then they had Kevin Bacon, and then the secret one was Michael Gross, got his own. So if you're going to listen to anything and expecting something new, not so much. It's probably stuff you heard all before. I guess the most interesting one is since Kevin Bacon has been talking about it more over the past few years, you get to hear his stories. But still, it sounds like stuff that other people have already told before. Yeah. I kind of rather hear Fred Ward, seeing as how he did two of them.
Yeah. Does he talk about Tremors at all?
I don't know. I've never seen him pop up in any of these Tremors discussions. He might be one of the people that wants to distance himself from the project.
Yeah.
Like your buddy Reba.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I did watch the original Tremors, I don't know, sometime in the past week, and still a great movie.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to be associated with that. I actually picked up one little detail that I never noticed before, which tends to happen when you watch these movies over and over again. At the end, the big line is, "Can you fly, you sucker?" When the
spoiler alert,
graboid goes flying out. And I noticed, like, at the beginning of the film, I think it was Earl who mentions, like, in passing in dialogues, like, "For all you know, these things can fly." I was like, oh, there's a nice little link. So many things in that movie connect. Everything is set up and has a little payoff. It's great.
Yeah. That reminds me of a movie I watched last night called Deck the Halls. With
You're watching a whole lot of Christmas. You're watching more Christmas movies than I am.
It's just Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick, and it just they set up
DeVito and Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, it came out
this movie
2006, and they play their neighbors, and they're competing. They just start getting into a pissing contest about their Christmas decorations, and it just reminded me of that movie because they set up a whole bunch of things in that movie that they do nothing with. It just goes nowhere. And
sloppy writing.
Well, and they're supposed to be fighting. They're supposed to be competing in that, but they make none of them. Neither of them are very interesting. So you don't really care if they succeed or fail. And then there was just like a lot of weird decisions. Like there was one pretty decent scene where everyone is in the neighborhood is looking at Danny DeVito's house because he's got like this spectacular display, like a Clark Griswold level display on his house. So everybody in the neighborhood drives in. Matthew Broderick's trying to get out of his driveway, but they only left him like a little tiny space, right? To get through. And there's like an RV on one side and a truck on the other side. And there's a big trailer hitch on the RV and a big, one of those hitch or what are they called? Winches on the front of the truck. So he can't really see as he's trying to back out. And the weird thing is they just got like some random dude who's like drinking a beer and he's like, yeah, come on, you can back out. I'll guide you out, and he's like guiding him out and he's guiding him all wrong. He hits his car on the trailer hitch and then moves forward and then hits it on the thing. And I'm like, why isn't Danny DeVito out there doing this? This would be perfect for Danny DeVito. And that would create like more tension between the two characters, like as he's banging up his car and he's driving back. And I don't know why, like, could they just not get him for that scene or something?
It could be possible. I mean, well, Danny DeVito wasn't that old then. I mean, he's done that Philadelphia show since then, right?
By the way, that's come back and it is funny as ever, man. That show just They come back, they do the COVID stuff, and it was so funny. They tied so this guy, what was it? Okay, so they applied for a loan against their bar. If you've never seen the show, it's like these four friends who own this bar in Philadelphia, and then Dan DeVito's like their dad. And they keep applying for these loans for like these business ventures and that. And this whole episode was basically because they took last year off because of the whole pandemic and everything. And so this guy comes in to audit these loans that they took out during the pandemic for these business ventures. And it turns out like every single one of their business ventures, they're responsible for everything that has gone wrong over like the pandemic. So like Frank like invested in, I don't know, some like bat food thing or something like that. So he actually started the whole pandemic. And then the other guys, they inadvertently started the Capitol riots on January 6th. And they even, one of them even compiled like these furs out of rats and that made like the one guy's uniform. It's just a crazy episode. It's good times. It was good fun. All right.
What network is that show on?
You know, I'm not sure because it airs on something completely different here, right? I think it's FX in the States, if that's still around. But here, I think it airs on Showcase. I don't know. We just programmed it in the PVR and episodes started showing up. I'm like, this isn't back, is it? And sure enough, it was. Because sometimes the PVR in the guide, it will be, listed as a new episode of a show, but it's actually like from, 4 or 5 years ago or something. Just a glitch in the matrix and it ends up on your PVR. But
hey, speaking of new episodes, you just reminded me I saw the trailer for that Cobra Kai. That's coming back on December 31st.
They usually do a New Year's thing, right?
Yeah, very smart of them. They'll clean up. Everybody's home. They're gonna.
Nobody's doing anything.
That one day.
Yep.
And speaking of Clark Griswold, before you reminded me, I saw a tweet last night that I was way too late for from the R3 podcast.
Yeah. I saw the same thing.
There was some poll going up. Who's the better, more memorable, more quotable Christmas character? Clark W. Griswold or Buddy the Elf?
Yeah.
Now, as somebody who really enjoys both films, I could watch them both every year. I do watch Vacation every year. I really like Elf, but there is no contest. That is not even close. You cannot compare Buddy the Elf to the great Griswold.
I can't even think of a quote. Like, what does he like?
You know what his quote is?
Syrup in
Santa.
Yeah, there's nothing
he shouts
about
Santa.
Him. Spaghetti syrup.
There are some quotes. I'm not going to bash on the movie.
Well, give me one.
That scene right there, the Santa. I know him. It's a memorable thing for me.
That's not a quote.
I just told you it's night and day between these two characters and their quotes and the movies in general. But it has its moments. But that's pretty much the only one that I think of.
Yeah.
He goes Santa, and then he grabs the thing. He's like, I know him. That's the quote.
And he annoys James Caan. That's his thing.
He does, yes. But Clark Griswold.
Okay, before we get on to the main event, because we're still waiting for people to pour in to this room. We got somebody out there. There's one person. This is one person there. Might be me. Might have this open somewhere else. In the last episode, you got to show off all your groovy Blu-ray cases. So
I sure did.
I went to grab some of my funky Blu-ray cases.
I'm very curious.
So, for instance, we were talking about the European editions of Blu-rays. So here's Fletch in a standard North American Blu-ray case.
Mm-hmm.
That is your standard.
Can I see the Blu-ray logo on that case? Is there any indentation there, or is it just Blu-ray?
No,
it doesn't have like a little circle or oval or anything. Is it?
Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. This one is just stamped on. There's no type
Okay,
texture.
that seems to be the common one.
Yeah, but sometimes it does. Um, so and then here is Fletch Lives, and this is the European case. As you can see, it's thicker, girthier.
Yes, and it's
So
got
it
those
is
little rating circles.
the Peggy 12, Peggy whatever, and this does have like it's got texture on it, and it's indented.
Ooh, yeah.
So as you can see, there's your different girths.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely the
No
European version
contents. That girthy one. Oh yeah.
wins, and it just sits in there nice.
Hmm. Who puts out Fletch? What studio is that? Is it Warner Brothers? What is that?
Well, this is a fabulous who did the Blu-ray rights. Got the rights for the Blu-ray, and it's a Universal
Universal. Okay.
film.
So you can just play that in your regular Blu-ray player. Oh, but you got a region-free one anyway.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So then this is here's my Resident Evil collection. This is the first 3 movies,
Ooh, I
and you
was
see
I
it,
was tempted to get that one because there are 3 Milas on the cover.
and it's definitely got the. But here's
Nice.
the size difference. This is a 3 movie collection,
Mm-hmm.
and here's your size difference from the
Mm-hmm.
European cases. So you can see the European cases are a little slimmer. This one's a little bit thicker.
Well, you got only the one movie in that Fletch
Yeah,
Lives. Yeah.
but this one has 3. So you
It's
the
got
one in
the little middle flappy thing,
flap.
little flap tray. Okay.
So there you go. So that's that. So then in here, this is the Arrow edition, and this is your thicker clear case with the has the Blu-ray logo there, and there is texture that isn't just stamped on. This is the Andromeda
Ooh.
Strain.
Clear. I don't have any clear cases.
All the Arrow ones come with clear cases, and the covers are reversible. This is the standard cover that it comes with.
Yes, yes.
But I prefer the original, classic cover myself. So that's what I put on the outside.
So you did flip it around.
Yes.
Okay, so you did devalue your product
by flipping it around.
creasing the cover in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I suppose I did. Oh well. And here is a comparison. I hope everyone finds it satisfying. I know if you're listening to this is really interesting, but there's the thickness, there's the girth. So pretty much they just take European. It looks like Arrow takes European cases.
Well, that's where Arrow is based in.
Oh, are they?
Somewhere in Europe, isn't it? What's the back cover? You got any locations stamped down there?
I'm pretty sure Arrow is North American.
Well, now we're reading. I hope the audio listeners are enjoying this.
I don't know. I can't see.
I don't know. I thought Arrow was based outside of the U.S.
All rights reserved. Trademark. No, I don't know. I really don't know.
That's one for the Wikipedia.
So, and then here is the Criterion collection. This is the Graduate. Another girthy, clear case, but
that one is definitely girthy.
But as you can see, there's no top Blu-ray thing. It goes right up to the top there. That's how Criterion does it. So here's the European version. So you can get.
Wait a minute.
Frame of reference.
Is that case? Are they the same dimensions?
I think this one's a little thicker. This Graduate. It feels a little thicker.
But I mean,
height-wise,
spine to openy part. I don't know what the depth, not the depth, the width of the case.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, those are
okay.
Those are.
I guess it was an optical thing, the way you were holding it towards the camera.
And here's the comparison to the Arrow. Because these are all important. This is important stuff.
Well, I was just going to say, in all honesty, I find this fascinating.
I do too. I do too. So here's some interesting. I'll just one more interesting one, and then I'll. So here's the. This is these guys were a North American distributor of Blu-rays called Twilight Time, and they were basically online only, but they're defunct now. But they also released. This is Baby the Rain Must Fall, starring Steve McQueen and Lee Remick. And this is clear case, as you can see, no Blu-ray on the top.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't get them like this anymore. They were the only ones that were doing that. So here's a standard. So it's as thick as a standard one, but it just doesn't have that upper logo. It's a little thinner. It's about the same.
Yeah. You got to take care of those cases because if you ever have to try to transplant that insert into another case,
it's not happening. Yeah, so you got to take care of that. Then just finally, there's the green Hulk.
Hey, that's neat. Is that the Incredible? Yeah, that's the Incredible Hulk. The only green Hulk I remember is that first Ang Lee DVD. Those were always green.
Yeah. And then they did this for a number of them, of the Marvel ones. Here's the Avengers in red.
That's neat.
Which you can find a few red. I think some Disney ones are in red, but yeah, it's got the.
Occasionally, I'll see a black case, and sometimes it's the what do you call it? The 4K.
Yeah.
UHD.
Yeah.
But occasionally I'll see one that's just in a black case and not like there's a Deadpool 1 and 2 combo out here.
Right. Well, that was my next thing where the black here's Ant-Man. But this is more of a gray, like transparent gray.
Smoke gray kind of.
Yeah. Which I thought was kind of cool. I think this is the only movie that's like that. That kind of gray case. And then just that for reference, here's the 4K. Here's a 4K Shazam.
Yes. That's the one.
So there you go.
Pretty neat.
I probably have more, but that's all
I wish I known we were going to hold things in front of the camera. I would have prepared. Well, I can quickly take this one down. That's right here. I'll show you the thickest case I have is my Lethal Weapon.
I have that too.
Box set.
Oh, I don't know if it's a big. It might be.
It's one big case, and I don't really like this because it's a little difficult to open. You see how thick this entrance is, and then it's got a couple of those little hinged doors in there, and there's also like that. There is this kind of gummy thing in here that I guess helps hold it closed.
Oh, I've never seen that before.
I don't know. It's weird. This is the UK release.
I can see the Peggy logos on there.
Yeah, it's hard to see, but it's got this weirdo gummy thing that runs inside, and I guess keeps it waterproof. I don't know. Have you watched the extra disc on this?
No.
It's got some 5th disc that's supposed to have all these extra dealies and whatnots.
No. By the time I get through all those 4 Lethal Weapon movies, I'm done.
You're wiped, yeah.
I'm good with Lethal Weapon. Seen enough.
Well, I only picked that up because it was a good price.
Me too, yeah.
Because it was an import and it had a little notice on there saying, it does not have Japanese subtitles, so no one else would buy it around here. But of course, I put it into a player and it immediately switched everything to Japanese. So I don't know how they were testing these. But anyway, I wouldn't have bought 3 or 4 regardless if I had to buy them individually.
Yeah.
I might have just stopped at 1.
Yeah, really the first one is...
that's kind of all I need. Part 2 has, its moments.
It's okay.
It's a standard sequel of that time. You just see more. But it does.
It just doesn't...
diminishing returns. By the time you get to Chris Rock, it's like, is this Lethal Weapon anymore?
Yeah. And was Joe Pesci in the second one or the third one?
He started in the second one. And then
the second one. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he wasn't Joe Pesci yet. He wasn't like... I don't think he had that status yet.
Pre-Goodfellas,
or at the same time. Like I think he might have been shooting
Okay.
Lethal Weapon when Goodfellas came out, kind of thing.
Speaking of Seinfeld, um,
What?
well, I did just finish watching all that, and they're right towards the end. There's one episode, The Frogger. Everybody knows this episode.
Yes. Yep.
George gets the Frogger machine, which, by the way, is also the last really good episode, which is pretty close to the end. So not bad. But at the beginning of that episode, Jerry and Elaine are talking, and they're back by that shelf in the back, and he's like picking up some tapes, and you get a clear shot if you pause of some of the VHS and things on his shelf. Goodfellas is on there, but you also see that there are quite a few boxed NES games.
Really?
Yeah, I noticed a Tetris a while ago, and then you get in there. There's like 3 or 4 of them. I can't make out the titles. Somebody who's more familiar with the box art may be able to do that. But if you go to the Frogger episode, and it's pretty close to the beginning, like right after the cold intro, and then this next scene starts up, you can see a few tapes on there.
That's interesting because the NES would have been way past its prime by the time.
I have a feeling it was just, we need to put stuff on the shelf. Oh, somebody's got some NES games in their office. Throw them on there. Or
I don't know, because they were really particular about those backgrounds. Like I remember there was somebody whose job it was. This was on the DVD extras, but one of their jobs was to put all of Jerry's cereal in the cupboard in alphabetical order. Like that was one of their things, to make sure that all brand, it started with all brand or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they always turn them around, so it's like the nutrition fact side that's facing. Yeah. So you can't really, you have to look for the little logo above that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a Pretty Woman, I think, is on the shelf. I don't know. I'm very curious about the little extras in the background.
Yeah. Because when Seinfeld ended in 98, was that it?
I think so.
Yeah, so the PlayStation would have been the new hot item.
Well, again, I don't think it was there for, hey, this is something Jerry would be into. It was just add some color, add some details back there.
Yeah, they might have been just the right look.
Because there are a number of board games on the top of the shelf towards the end of the series, and sometimes they would pull them down and play. They'd be playing Taboo or Battleship or something.
Right. Okay.
But anyway, I did finish the show off, and I was curious how I would feel about the finale, and it's still kind of the same. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it at the beginning, because I thought, this is feeling like a regular episode more than I remember. I thought it was very short, them in the apartment, and then it quickly went over to the trial. But you get about half the show as a normal episode, even though it's still kind of weak with what they're doing. And then, just the pacing, the amount of time you get to spend with the characters, the amount of time they spend on Geraldo Rivera inserts, and
I forgot about that.
Yeah, me too. There's no laugh track under it. It just falls flat. You spend a lot of time with the prosecutor character, who not a bad character, but I want to see all the classics. So, of course, after watching it, I rewrote the episode in my brain with my perfect hindsight vision, and I still really enjoy the 4 of them versus their past in the show. So I thought it would have been cool if, instead of an actual trial, it was kind of a mock trial, more in the vein of they're walking around, they see somebody from their past on the street, they have an altercation. It's like, oh, that was an ugly incident. I hate running into those people, that we don't want to be with anymore. They go into the coffee shop, and then, pure coincidence, there's just to happen to be a couple of people there from the past. Like, oh, there's Mulva. There's a so-and-so I broke up with. I'm like, oh, no. They get into some kind of kerfuffle in the coffee shop, get real loud the way George does, and he raises his voice. And then finally the owner is like, you know what? I don't want you 4 in here anymore. Get out of here. And the whole thing is them being kicked out of the coffee shop. but they try to plead their case, and the trial is essentially them in the coffee shop trying to debate, like, we should be allowed to stay. No, they should go. And then basically you start bringing all the characters in there. Like, we need people to be on our side. We need people to be on our side. And then you get this big scene where you got all the regulars in the coffee shop, every booth, every counter seat. It's some regular from the past, and maybe give them actual dialogue instead of having them just sit there, and just look pretty in the background. You could have had a great cast photo of like all the people in the coffee shop, and then just have like essentially a trial, but just have them in there instead of throwing them off in some strange setting that they've never been in.
Yeah.
The show is still great overall. But,
well, you got to hand it to him for trying something different. Like, it wasn't, Jerry's moving away, and the final shot is him with the moving box, and he's turning off the lights to the empty apartment. Like, that would have been just such the cliche.
Yeah, it's not the ending of Cheers.
No.
It's kind of the show that doesn't really need an end. It just needed, another good episode.
I think what would have been, I kind of like your idea. What would have been fun is if, they get kicked out of the coffee shop. They can't get back into the coffee shop. And then they find that they just stop hanging out with each other because the coffee shop was the thing that actually kept them all together. Like, that was what they would just do all the time.
Well, they spent enough time in the apartment together too.
I suppose, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It could have ended either way. They could have lost and then have to just sit in Jerry's apartment, and Kramer could be there trying to make coffee and spilling stuff and, trying to make it work there. Or they win, but everybody else just storms out of the place. And then the coffee shop goes out of business, and it's just the four of them sitting in the booth.
That would have been good too.
I've got perfect hindsight visions for 30-year-old endings.
You are a Seinfeld armchair quarterback.
Yeah.
Sunday armchair. No, what do they call it? Monday armchair quarterback. Whatever. Insert sports analogy here. Okay, we're getting to the end of the show.
On the internet.
We're getting to the end of the show. We're getting to wrap up 2021. This is our final show of 2021. I was hoping there'd be some people in the chat that would be able to, chime in on some of this, but c'est la vie. That's the way it goes. It's funny sometimes. Like, I don't do anything. I don't send out anything. I send out that one tweet to Rocket Sauce, and all of a sudden a bunch of people show up. And then this week I did 3 tweets, and I put out something on our Discord channel. We got one person that's too afraid to say anything.
You expected to get everybody together right before the holidays when they're busy doing their Christmas shopping.
Rocket Sauce is here. There we go. We said his name and he showed up. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Well, that's all we need. Just Rocket Sauce in the chat.
Speak and the devil appears.
Okay. Well, you showed up at and I got Kings. Look at that.
Hey.
Right on. Okay. So, like I have been talking about all week, this is the point. Well, you showed up at the right time, Rocket Sauce, because we're going to get into it right now. This is where we're going to unlock Vox. This is our Christmas gift, our holiday gift. If you don't celebrate Christmas, it's a holiday gift to you, the listeners and watchers. I am going to ask Richard a set.
I knew it. I had 2 ideas of what this was. One was that you had found some video or audio from my past and you were going to spring it on me. The other is you're going to make me take some sort of personality quiz from Vogue.
Are you saying that there is some video out there that I should be on the lookout for?
I have no idea. I don't know what you were finding.
No, this is a set of 15, possibly 16 questions. This is actually ripped off of the Stephen Colbert Show. He does this thing called the Colbert Questionnaire. And I couldn't think of a Fandango word that rhymed with questionnaire. So
questionnaire. Derriere questionnaire.
Well, I'm not going to ask your derriere any questions. I'm going to ask you some questions. Now, some of these are just kind of throwaway questions. Some of them are silly. Some of them are very thought provoking. And
Oh,
we're going to get into some philosophical questions here. So we only got about 40 minutes. So hopefully we can do this all in about 40 minutes. This is usually
40 minutes.
This is usually about a
Jeez.
15-minute segment on the Colbert Show. So we'll see. Here, the thing on the Colbert Show though is the people get the questions ahead of time. You know that they get the questions ahead of time. So Richard, he's going in cold. He doesn't know any of these questions. So we're gonna.
This was the big secret you couldn't tell me about.
Yeah, this is it. Well, I didn't want you to look up the questions. I wanted you to go in fresh.
Look up. I thought this was just my opinion.
Well, yeah, you can look up the questions and then think of an answer. So I want to off the cuff Vox. That's what people want. That's why they're all here. They're waiting. They're waiting. Okay, here we go. Question number 1. What is the best sandwich? Do you eat sandwiches still? Are you into sandwiches?
I love sandwiches. I don't eat them as often as I would like.
Can you even get them over there?
Yeah. I mean, you can make a sandwich, but it's not quite the same. You know how you can just go into a deli, go to the deli counter at your supermarket or something. They got all the meats, got all your hams, your spiced ham, bologna, salami, different kinds of cheeses and all that. They don't have that here. There's no deli counter.
Right.
You can't go in and just get processed meats. Give me half a pound of turkey or something like that.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna go classic. The sandwich that I love is the one that my wife absolutely hates and never wants to eat. Is the cold sandwich out of a cooler box, like when you go into the beach or a picnic, where you make a sandwich and you put it in the little plastic wrap or maybe some foil and you stick it in the cooler, it gets all cold, and then when you take it out, the bread is slightly not soggy, but it's cold, and it kind of has that wetness to it, and all your ham and mustard and stuff. If you try to peel the bread back, it would rip because it's all stuck together. I love when sandwiches are like that. Possibly because I haven't had one in the longest time. But Rocket Sauce is throwing something here. Peanut butter and jelly hot dog or liver sausage with nacho Doritos. That sounds absolutely disgusting.
The liver sausage one, yeah.
But I do really like when you put potato chips on a sandwich.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You get your cold cuts, you get your cheese, and I like the mustard mayo combo, and then throw some potato chips in there. Yeah, mustard and mayo.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. I'm wondering.
In the pronunciation's different here. Everybody calls it mayo.
Mayo. Okay.
But yeah, mustard, mayonnaise, and some cold cuts and some cheese.
Just cold cuts. So you're going like with a whole.
You know what? Because I don't have access to them. If you go and buy ham here, you buy this little packet, and it's got like 5 little slices of ham in there. And you rip that open, and you make 5 sandwiches. You put 1 slice on everything of bread. They're so chintzy here. I want a nice big sandwich. Give me...
All right, so let's pretend you're in America. You go into the deli. What sandwich you getting? You're gonna put it in the cooler later. It's gonna stick to the bread's gonna stick to the meat.
Oh, again, this is because I've been away from this stuff for so long. But I want spiced ham. I want salami. I like a softer salami. The hard one is okay, but I do prefer like a little softer salami.
Like a summer sausage?
Yeah, I don't know that I know what that is, but it sounds good.
Well,
but yeah, definitely I want spiced ham. I'll take regular ham. Turkey's good sometimes, but it's not my favorite. Bologna is kind of classic. I haven't had bologna in years.
You're still not picking one sandwich out of this deli. You got.
Oh. Okay, if I'm making a cold cut sandwich, I'm just gonna go nuts because that's it. If I'm just ordering a straight up sandwich,
yeah,
I'll go with a Reuben from a
Oh, I like a
diner.
Reuben. Yeah, Reuben's good. That's a good choice. Good choice. I would go with a Montreal smoked meat sandwich from Montreal. There's only a couple of places in Montreal that you got to go to get one. They're excellent on rye with mustard.
Mm-hmm.
Preferably the mustard's a little bit warmed up, and your fries, and you're good to go.
Sounds good. Are all the
Uh,
questions about sandwiches?
no. That was the only question about sandwiches. Question
I am
number 2.
hungry right now.
What's the one thing that you own that you really should throw out?
One thing I own I really should throw out.
Could be anything. Clothes.
Well, I definitely have some old clothes that should probably be thrown out.
Well, for me, I still have 2 pairs of jeans that I wore in college that
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna fit in again. It's
Yeah.
never gonna happen. I unless I go on a starvation diet, Gandhi style. It's just not gonna happen. But I'm hanging on to them for some reason.
I don't know. I'm pretty good at getting rid of stuff. I mean, I have some old books from when I was a kid that I don't read that I keep for, just nostalgia. Something I really should throw out. I don't know if there's anything I really need to throw out. I guess I would say clothes. Hey, if you want a real deep, like honestly,
Yeah,
deep
that's what we're
look
here for.
inside box,
Yeah.
I do have a shirt, which I call my Christmas shirt. I have a shirt. When I was a kid, my dad came over on Christmas morning and he had a package and he handed it to me. And as he's handing it to me, he kind of pulls it back a little bit and he's like, I don't know why I got this for you. I shouldn't have gotten this for you, but I bought it, I wrapped it, so here it is. And he hands me the package. I open it up and I pull out this shirt, which is kind of a cream color with paisley all over it. Up and down paisley
Goodness.
design, button down shirt, like a regular
Mm-hmm.
formal shirt. And I hold it up and I'm looking at this thing and he's looking at this thing. My sisters are there. They're staring at this thing. Everybody agrees it's the ugliest shirt in the world. And I just start laughing at how bad this shirt is. And he's kind of like, forget it, get rid of that shirt, throw it away, whatever. And then later on, this is how it worked because I didn't live with my dad. So he'd come over Christmas morning and then he would go over to his family, like his sisters, brothers, and that side of the family. And then later in the day, we would go over there. So I'm thinking, all right, I got this shirt. I'm going to put this thing on when I go over to the other house. So I put it on. I go over there and he sees me wearing this thing. And immediately he's like, what are you doing wearing that shirt? He's just giving me a hard time. And we're just laughing over the whole thing. And I still have that shirt. I kept that shirt. And here's the deep dive because it is the only time I remember laughing with my dad. That one time. We didn't have a solid father-son relationship. We didn't spend a whole lot of time together.
Yeah.
And usually, like the dad visitation days, we're like, I don't want to go do this. But I remember that one time laughing. So I still have it. I'm not going to throw that away. I've thought about it a few times, but I'm not going to throw that away.
Yeah, no, that's not something you should throw out.
No,
you should.
I'm not going to wear it anymore.
That
I
serves
don't
no
wear it
practical
anymore.
purpose. Well, you can always do the thing too where you take a photo of it, and then you always have the photo of it too.
I can keep one shirt.
Sure. Okay.
I got
Good
those
answer.
old Cartridge Club shirts.
Do you have those? I got one. I got to keep it around for the very game exchange because if I want to be with the club,
You want to fit in.
If I want to sit with the club and not be on the loser side,
yeah,
we were all the way in the back, and nobody. By the time the people get there, they spent all their money. So I got to wear that shirt. So
no,
I'm
keeping my Cartridge Club shirts. But the first one I bought, I misjudged the size, so it's too small. So I can't wear it. It's just.
I have a few shirts that are like that. Okay, question number 3. Moving along here. What is the scariest animal?
The binturong.
The who?
I saw this at the zoo for the first time like a month or so ago.
How do you spell that?
I don't know.
The bintron?
It kind of sounds like been too long. Bin
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
B-I-N-T and
Okay.
how do you spell it? I can't get it. Bin
Binturong.
T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw this thing for the first time, and the description is like cat bear,
yeah.
and this thing was just pacing up and down in its cage because I knew it was there. Like the exhibit was there for a while, but we never saw the thing. Like it was always empty or it was hiding or something. But yeah, this thing comes out and it's just walking in front of the cage, and when it walks, its head is down really low, and it's on all fours, and it kind of looks like a bear with a really long cat tail. And as it's walking by, it's kind of just moving its head. It's got these really dark, beady eyes, and it just
Yeah.
goes. It's like snorting. And I thought, if I ever saw this thing in the wild, I would be scared out of my mind. I don't know if it's a fierce animal, a cuddly animal. I'd be too scared to approach this thing.
Mm. Well, there's some
And then, yeah, you look
maybe
at it
with the
enough, it's all cute and cuddly, but I don't know what to make of this thing. It's the kind of thing that I wouldn't believe it was a real animal. It would look like some alien creature just showed up in my backyard. But
good
now
answer.
it's also kind of my favorite animal.
Well, I'll tell you. For me, the scariest animal, and I got there's 2. One is, and I got there from the Crash Bandicoot game, the very first Crash Bandicoot game, because there was these. You play Crash Bandicoot, you play the first level, and there's these animals that attack you. And at first, I thought they were skunks. I'm like, oh, these skunks or whatever. Then I found out they were honey badgers.
Honey badgers.
So I looked up what a honey badger is, and they are nasty. Honey badger is like one of the most fiercest creatures you could ever run into. It'll screw you up. They got these big claws, and they will kill you. So that's one that you don't want to run into. But the other scary animal, and it's technically an insect, but I'll say it's an animal, is the bee. Because the bee has tons of power. Our entire food chain relies on the bee. We're supposed to be at the top of the food chain, but really, if we go extinct, everyone's fine. The bee goes extinct, we're all screwed. All of our food is not getting pollinated. None of the vegetables, none of the fruit, nothing's getting pollinated. Every animal dies, and the whole thing dies. So the bee has a ton of power, and that to me is a little scary. They hold, like, if they go out, we're screwed. So take care of the bees. Be nice to your beekeepers. Okay. Question number 4. Apples or oranges?
Just raw, straight up eating a fruit?
An apple or an orange? What are you going to pick?
Ooh, that is mood dependent. Recently, we got some really good apples. And that, like, I love making apple pie. But summertime, orange is quite refreshing. And I do prefer orange juice to apple juice. Because it is the season for it right now, I will say apples. Only because that's the mood I'm in.
And to me, an apple is the perfect food. It fits in the palm of your hand. You can eat it, and not make a big mess. The only thing is you got the core afterwards. An orange, it's impossible to eat without making a huge mess. You get all that sticky stuff on your hands. You got all the peel and rind.
You gotta get the right orange.
Good.
There are local oranges here that when you peel it, the skin separates from the orange very easily. You could kind of roll it around in there and just.
I tried to do that. I tried to thing to loosen up the skin, but I don't know. It just
No,
makes
no, no. These they look like little clementines. They're very tiny, and you peel them, and it just comes right out.
See, I've eaten way too many nasty clementines I'm not a really big fan of them.
There are
My
people. There are people that they peel the orange in such a way as to give a shape to the peel when it's finished. Like you peel
Yeah.
the whole thing off, and it looks like an animal.
See, that's
You
too
know,
much work. I just want to eat.
just
An
saying.
apple you can just eat. You don't need to do all
You
that.
get the right variety, and it's not so messy.
But my mom would buy like she'd buy way too many tangerines, around Christmas time and all that. She'd buy like these big bushels of them. So like I'd have two and I'm good for the season. Those are good. And they were lying around and who's going to eat these tangerines? And they half of them didn't taste good. And, too much. It's too much with the oranges.
Yeah.
Okay.
Applesauce, apple pie. There's a lot of goodness there.
Number 5. Question number 5. Have you ever asked someone for their autograph?
Yes. Bruce Campbell. I went to a signing.
Me too.
Yeah.
I got his book signed.
No, I didn't necessarily have to ask him. It was kind of that's why you went there. But
Right.
yeah, that's the only like in-person autograph I ever got.
I got his autograph. I did get Vic and Tommy's autograph.
Hey, Duke is here.
Hey, Duke.
I would ask Duke for his autograph.
I think I have Duke's autograph on somewhere. I got the AVGN's autograph. I got him to sign my copy of Ghostbusters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I remember that story. They cut the line right when you were there.
They were going to cut it off, and oh my goodness, it was going to be a riot. Do you want James to answer questions or continue with the line? Oh man, I could just feel it, and it was like right when we were there.
He could answer my question as I go up to him.
Oh my god, it was not going to be good times.
Mail order. That's how I used to get autographs. I'd write letters. That's how I got Mr. Rogers' autograph.
Oh, nice. Well, I do have one. I got Eddie Shack, who was a hockey player for the Toronto Maple Leafs back in the day. So my mom had a photo of Eddie Shack, and I didn't know who the heck he was. I'm like, Eddie Shack, I don't know that. My mom's like, oh, I got a photo of Eddie Shack, and he's going to be at the mall. So go with your father to the mall to get Eddie Shack's autograph. I'm like, okay. So, I'm a kid, and I got this hockey player's autograph. I had no idea who the heck he was.
When I was a kid and I went to Disney World, I got Mickey Mouse's autograph and like Donald Duck.
The real Mickey Mouse, not the fake one?
Yeah, it was at Disney World. We paid to get in. It better have been real.
Okay, here's the deep philosophical one.
Okay.
This is probably the hardest question to answer in the whole list. So get ready.
Cookies. About cookies, isn't it?
No. Question number 6. What do you think happens when we die?
Your body ceases to function.
Well, what happens to you? What happens to your essence?
What
do you think
as I'm in
happens?
Japan, it is required that I become cremated. So I go up in a ball of smoke.
Yeah, but what happens to you? You know what happens to your body, but what do you think happens to you?
Yeah.
Very, very deep.
It would be nice to think that if I can just play in my head, I would really, really hope that I get to go into the Bill and Ted universe afterlife, because that looks like a lot of fun.
So that's what you think happens? I think you go to the Beetlejuice afterlife. I think you're just going to be waiting in line.
Well, I don't know.
Look at this. Duke has Charlton Heston's autograph.
Ooh.
And Brooks Robinson's.
Charlton Heston. Hello, Duke.
Okay. So that's what you think. You think we go to, what did you say?
Bill and Ted's Afterlife. That would be great. Or it just you pull the plug on the TV and that's what happens.
Yeah, out like a computer. You just turned it off. But you never know.
Wouldn't that be something if you close your eyes and you have darkness and you just see that little line that and hear the sizzle of the
they
the
say
TV static?
that like when everyone says that you go down the tunnel of light and like it's a tunnel. It's actually your brain shutting down, and all the electrical pulses in your brain are just shutting down to nothing.
Well,
Yeah, but
I'll let you know when I get there.
all right. Send me an email. Favorite action movie? Can only have one.
Personal favorite? Got to go with RoboCop.
RoboCop's a good pick, although
Solid pick.
I don't know. Is it more sci-fi than action?
It falls into different categories. You know, I don't know. Go ahead and tell me that Die Hard is your favorite.
Best pure action film.
I don't deny it. It's a great film. Predator's really good, but that's kind of like sci-fi
That's a monster movie.
and
It's a
monster.
movie.
It goes into different categories.
I think the first half of Predator is action, but it's just building up for that monster movie at the end. So
they're all good.
Yes, there's not a bad one we mentioned. Okay. Question number 8. Favorite smell?
Good smell. See, I wish I had a little time to think about this one.
Yeah. Well, I'll answer because I have had time to think of it. And I came to the conclusion that my favorite smell is fresh air, especially after you've been inside for a long time and you go outside and you just take in that fresh air. You get that's my favorite. Although Sarah's laundry is pretty close. It's maybe second.
My favorite smell I'm going to go with is very vague. It is the smell of dinner when you're coming home on a cold night and you can smell the meal like from outside the house. Like you smell that cooking.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
Yeah.
That's dinner. I love that smell.
That's a good smell. Also, the wood burning stove outside. When you're outside, you hear
wood burning stove. You know, originally my mind was going towards the smokiness of like a barbecue, like not the heavy. Oh, I'm standing in front of it.
Right.
That nice smoky scent of
when your
like
neighbor's barbecuing.
Well cured meat. Yes.
Somebody you're like, oh man, they got some. Yeah, I'm eating a freaking Pop-Tart here, and they got something awesome going on over there. Okay, least favorite smell.
In Japan, there is a food called natto. It is fermented soybeans. It comes in a little styrofoam pack. You lift it open, and there's a little piece of plastic over it after you open it up, and you peel that back, and this slime sticks to it, and it doesn't come out. You can stretch it out like one of those. What was that toy? You stretch out the guy.
Stretch man,
stretch guy.
Yeah,
you peel it off, and there's like these strands of it going everywhere. The scent of that food. There's this little like liquid you mix in there, and it gets all frothy and bubbly and sticky. It's disgusting. It is the word. It fails on every sensory level. It looks bad. It sounds bad. It smells bad. It tastes bad, and it's got this slimy texture that like I absolutely hate going near it.
Yeah, there's something that Sarah eats that has a like.
Wait, stop! Sorry, Duke, get out. Duke's get out.
Least favorite smell is sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut. Oh, I love sauerkraut.
I tell you, sauerkraut pierogies, excellent.
Sauerkraut is the go-to. Like when you need to add a vegetable to your meal and you don't feel like cooking, pull out that sauerkraut. Yeah, especially when it's been warmed up. Down on a plate, nice steamy pile. Love it.
Well, my least favorite smell is going to kind of go with my favorite smell, and that is when they put too much manure on the farms. It's more because it's overpowering than the smell itself. But like they'll get like the cheap pig manure or something, and they put it on the
cheap pig manure.
Yeah, because.
Not that high quality pig manure.
Well, like sheep manure doesn't smell that bad, or cow manure, but they'll get like I'm in farm country here, right? Like there's just a
Hmm.
bunch of farms around, and a lot of the farms, like they have to grow different things. You can't grow the same thing in the same spot. So a lot of times what they'll do is, in order to mix it up, it's like they'll grow like their good crops for a couple of years, and then to mix it up, they'll just put down the cheap pig manure, and they just grow like feed basically for the cows, and that like cheap corn or whatever. So it's everything's cheap, and it's so overpowering. It's just thick. It's so thick. It's too
I get
much.
that. I get that. One of the campuses I work on is right across the street from a farm, like a dairy farm. They got all these cows out there, and certain times a year when the wind blows in the wrong direction, it
Yeah,
is powerful.
it's too much.
Mhm.
Too much. Okay, question number 10.
How many we got?
Flying through.
16?
We'll see. We'll see how long.
Mm.
Might have to cut it at 15. Question number 10. Exercise. Is it worth it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
at the age where if I don't do my stretches, I cannot stand up in the morning.
Yeah,
I
I
just
agree.
recently bought a medicine ball, and it
Oh,
really helps with stretching.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
nothing big, just a little 5 kilo ball, and you just you hold it way back, and you can
yeah,
extend that stretch or help you touch your toes and stuff,
yeah.
move around like that. It's great.
All right. Question number 11. Flat or sparkling water?
Usually flat, but I have grown to appreciate some like there's a
Carbon?
German one that's
Oh,
easy. Yeah, there's a German one that's sold around here. Gerolsteiner. It's like a carbonated water, and it's not bad. It's very sharp. It's got a very strong taste to it, but usually flat.
you got to party once in a while with some
Hmm.
sparkling water.
It is. It was my go-to drink for the summer a few years back, where I would take grape juice and like a seltzer, and you mix them 50-50. That was good stuff.
All right, Duke's on the sparkling water, Camp Sparkling Water. Well,
Yeah,
there's this
he uses it
show.
to watch that vomit sauerkraut out of his mouth. Can you
There's
eat sauerkraut, Duke? Or
he said,
like the smell
I
just
don't think he
you
can eat
can't
it.
get to it.
If he says it smells like vomit, I don't think he's eating it.
Well, it could be Mother Brains just forcing him to eat his veggies, and he's sitting there like this. I'm gonna go play Nintendo games.
There's a show in Canada. It's a market. Well, it's called Marketplace, and it's a Consumer Reports, Consumer Advocate show. And he absolutely cannot eat it. There you go.
Hmm.
Well, one of their like they usually like they'll do a deep dive on like plastic and products that claim to do one thing and don't do another. And one of the shows that was coming up was it was on sparkling water and how it's actually bad for the enamel on your teeth.
Hmm.
And Sarah and I are like, oh man, we don't, because we love sparkling water. We have it, every day we have a glass basically with supper. And then in the summer we probably have a little more. It's completely replaced pop. We don't drink any pop,
Mhm.
but you want to have that little bit of fizz. And like, here's the show. It's going to ruin it for us. So we put off watching the episode for like 3 weeks. And finally it's like, okay, we better get to this thing. We better find out what it's all about. And we started watching it, and it's like, in order for the sparkling water to ruin the enamel in your teeth, you have to drink like copious amounts of it. Like we're talking like
Mm.
5 or 6 glasses of it every day, not having it with any food, and never brushing your teeth. Well, not
Yeah,
maybe not eating food and not brushing your teeth is worse for your
that's
teeth than,
probably part of it.
than the sparkling water. So I think we were good. So turns out we were worried about nothing.
Mhm.
But I'm with you guys. Sparkling water is the way to go. Okay, number 12. What is the most used app on your phone?
Uh, Let me see what apps I have on my phone. Most used?
Most used.
I would say, oh, hands down, YouTube.
YouTube?
YouTube number one, then probably Netflix, which I do occasionally have something on my phone for when I go to work. And then I guess Twitter, YouTube, 100%.
Don't you find though on with watching YouTube on the phone, you
Hmm.
can't get any ad block in there, so you're stuck with all those stupid ads all the time.
Yeah, but I use it when I'm washing dishes or something, and I just put the
Gotcha.
headphones on. I'll listen to something
Right.
that's on there. And it is annoying because then the ads come in, and I'm like, I got
Yeah.
my hands all soapy. I can't do
Right.
anything. And then,
You're
yeah,
stuck with
yeah,
stupid ad.
yeah, it's annoying, but I do use it all the time. Or if I just need to look something up real quick, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
check a recipe or something, I typically look it up. The only annoying thing is, I think I mentioned this before, is when you're on there and you just kind of hover over something and then you go look at something else and then you see, oh, this thing has been playing. Now I'm going to get 100 more videos like this on my phone
Yes.
and I got to sit and weed through all those.
Yeah. Yeah. You
God
can tell
forbid
it.
you hover over something that's got like 2 million views and you get all these like, oh, look, cutest kittens in the world
Yeah.
compilation.
Sometimes you can tell, like you can tell YouTube, I don't want to see any more videos from this channel, and that can
Mm-hmm.
help it. But when there's like a bunch of channels that got caught up in some sort of fad or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I clicked on one video, it was like a real life Curb Your Enthusiasm moment where they take like a moment from real life and then they play the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme at the end of it, like it's an end of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And I accidentally clicked on one of those and I said, okay, that's really
Mm-hmm.
stupid. So ignore that channel. I never want to see that channel again. But it was one of those things where just everybody, like, just bajillion of people were doing this thing. So these things just kept coming up and coming up, and I couldn't get rid of it. Anyways,
Yeah, I didn't even have to look for it. This is the kind of stuff that comes up. Hoof restoration and cleaning pus out of cow hooves.
yeah, come on.
Things. Like I hovered over this once, and these things get 6.6 million views. People watching them like clean out hooves
All right. Well, that
or
sort of eliminates
hooves or
another
whatever you say.
question I had on here. It was going to be, what is the last YouTube video you watched? But obviously,
Oh,
it was you cleaning, some guy cleaning hooves.
the last thing I watched, I can tell you. Hang on, let me check my history. Was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That's right.
The
The
special?
Rankin Bass, the original one. I don't have a copy of that, so I looked on YouTube. I saw. I was like, "Oh, here it is." So I
Wow,
was
it's up
watching
there
it
for
with my
free.
kids
Oh,
last
nice.
night. Yeah,
That's cool.
although we
Okay.
didn't get to finish it, so that's on the agenda for today.
Well, what's my most used app? I'm so glad you asked. It is Waze, which is a one of those GPS apps.
Okay.
All right, so I use that every day, going back and forth to work to keep up on the
Hey,
traffic.
Mrs. Q
This is Q
Dog.
Dog's here.
Everybody's showing up late,
Yeah, I
like
guess we
they
should have
got
went an hour
lives or
late.
something.
What's up with that? By the way, I tried to get the soundboard going for this episode. It's not happening. It's just way too. But I might fix up something else for the new year. I might fix up
Oh,
something else.
you
I might.
temptress.
Okay, so the questions are a little out of order now, but we got 3 more questions. Question number 13. You get one song to listen to for the rest of your life. What is it?
One song for the rest of my life. Well, if I had only one song to listen to for the rest of my life, I probably wouldn't be listening to it every single day.
No,
It'd be just when I
when you
feel
can
like
only hear
listening
it.
to it.
You
If
know,
I can
that's the
only
only
hear
song you
one
listen.
thing, I'm going to go with the thing that I often hum to myself over and over again, and I never get tired of, and that is the John Williams Superman theme.
You hum that to yourself when you wake up in the morning. You're just like,
Dun, 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 dun. It's a great theme. I love it. They used it in the end of Seinfeld's.
that's
There was
right.
a compilation, which I think that video compilation could have been the ending. That was a
That
great
was good.
little
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
I love it. I think it's great, and it always reminds me of my favorite superhero moment is when Superman saved Lois Lane with the helicopter falling off that building. Like the greatest hero moment.
This must be a Simpsons reference. Goodbye Horses.
I don't know what that
Or
is.
maybe that's the last song he wants to hear. I don't know.
Goodbye Horses.
For me, it would be the Allman Brothers Mountain Jam, because the song is 42 minutes long, and so I would get a lot of play out of that. I don't have to listen to the whole thing. I can just listen to one part and then maybe another part later. So there you go. Okay, question number 14, which is actually 15. We've got 2 more questions left. Question 14. Cats or dogs?
All right, my gut instinct is dog because that's my personal preference. I think dogs are more fun to play with. You can pick them up and wrestle with them. You got like a loyal companion that's going to help you if you're in danger.
Look at this. Mrs. Q-Dog says neither.
Ooh.
Wow. She hates animals.
She hates animals.
Yeah. That. Rocket Sauce, it's the Buffalo Bill song. Goodbye Horses is the Buffalo Bill song. Isn't that
it just came up as Q Lazarus.
Oh, okay.
Goodbye Horses.
Okay.
But cats, you don't really have to do much. So they're very low maintenance.
Yeah, you got to clean the box.
Well, where I live, I don't have any cats. My wife's mother has a couple of cats, but she believes in free range. So she's got a little cat door. She takes care of the cats, but they wander around. They go around. There's safe area around here. You know, they go outside, they climb trees, they catch bugs, they run around, they sit in the sun. They go back in the house, you know, when they're done. And they often poop outside. There's like a kitty cat poop area. But, you know, if I think of a companion, dog sounds more fun. But, you know, little kitty cat at the end of the day sitting in your lap, all nice and warm and cozy inside. Not wrong with that either. I'll give the edge to dogs, but I don't believe it's like a night and day difference between my answers.
I'm kind of with you. I think I've met more dogs that I like than cats that I like.
Yeah, an untrained dog is pretty obnoxious when they're all over you, jumping and slobbering, and they don't shut up.
Yeah.
But that, you know, I don't want that to be the image of dogs overall. They can learn properly, and they're very affectionate animals.
I'll tell you one thing: both cats and dogs do. No matter where I go, they always I'll get to the house, I'll be there for like 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden the dog or cat just jumps on me.
Yeah,
they're just on me, and I'm like, I don't know why they're on me. And my buddy Frank says it's because I don't bother with them. Like he had a couple of cats, and he's like, every time someone comes over, they try to pet the cat or whatever, and the cat wants nothing to do with them. When I go over there, I just leave the cats alone, and then so they get curious and they jump on top of you to find out what's going on. But I'm allergic to both cats and dogs. So
really?
So I generally try not to pet them. You know, I don't have anything against them. I just try not to pet them or anything like that. Rocket Sauce says the Greatest American Hero theme is his backup choice for song, and he is pro dog. So there you go. I understand. I think I understand what Melissa's doing here with neither. I imagine she's got those 3 girls who are all at that age that want pets.
Okay.
So that's why she's saying neither.
They're at the age where they want accessory pets. That will be fun for them to show off and take pictures of. But then when it comes time for the feeding and the vet visits, hey, Ma, can you take care of this?
Yeah. So I see what's going on. Okay. I think we're on our last question. This might be you might need some time to think about that. This one, that's okay. I was
going to say, where are all the philosophical questions?
Well, this is it. This is the last one. Describe the rest of your life in 5 words.
Wow.
Big pause. If you're listening, okay, here he goes. He's holding up his fist.
Probably pretty much the same.
You're probably right.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm planning on changing. It'd be interesting if something big happens to change in a positive way. I don't know what that is, but I'm not changing my personality.
There you go. See, Miss Q Dog, and cleaning up would fall to me. There you go.
Yeah, which is my perspective on pets.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Rest of my life in 5 words. Make Sarah happy, motherfucker. All right.
Very
That's
nice.
it. Those are the questions. See?
Wow.
Got a good episode out of that and good way to wrap up the year.
Stuck a cork in that ear.
2021 is now officially done. Go have fun for the next 2 weeks, and then we'll be back sometime early January. When is the Friday? The Friday,
That'd be
January 7th.
There's the 7th.
Yeah, probably if we feel like it.
What is today? Today's the 18th for me. 9th, 17th for you. So that's 1, 2. Wow, that's like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah, almost a month.
Time.
Almost a month off.
I might actually play a video game or something in that time.
Well, if you are going to go play a video game, I guess be sure to go check out the Epic store because
I put that on the list there because the one they're giving away right now looks pretty fun.
Isn't it Shenmue 3?
That just ended. I picked that garbage up that I'm not gonna play, but I ain't gonna play that.
You know, it's
but
Rocket
the one
Sauce's favorite series.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Have fun. That looks too involved for me. Whatever they're having out now, it's some kind of shooter that looks pretty fun.
I'll have to check it out. Well, for the next 15 days, they're giving away free
a game a day, right?
Game a day. So I got to bring my laptop. I'm going to Sudbury for a few days. I'm not telling you when because I don't want people coming here and trying to steal my Men with Brooms soundtrack. Don't try to steal that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna have to bring my laptop with me so I can get on the free games.
They don't have a computer there.
No, I'm going to visit my in-laws. They have a computer that they bought in like 2005. It's got Windows Vista on it.
Ooh,
yeah,
retro. You should be all over that.
No,
speaking of computers, go watch the last season of Seinfeld and look at Jerry's computer.
Yeah, it's
Tell
a
me
beast,
what model
right?
that is.
It's a beast. I don't know.
It's like this like flat screen kind of stand up thing. I've never noticed it before.
Flat screen. Oh, well,
it's weird looking. I don't know what kind of computer that is.
Are you going to follow up your Seinfeld with some Curb Your Enthusiasm? Can you got
I
any way of getting that?
Access to that.
Damn.
I'm good. I really don't want to start another lengthy TV show right now. I want a little time to breathe.
They zip by so fast. Did I even talk about Ted Lasso? Oh man, I didn't even mention Ted Lasso. Finally started watching Ted Lasso. Let me tell you, that is a great show. If you haven't started watching it, watch it. The great thing they do on that show is it's basically they're all friends. And then they help each other with their problems. They got some life problems and that, and they get together and they figure the problem out together, and then they, kind of work on it instead of like fighting and arguing and keeping secrets and all that stupid. Now, one of the main characters in the first season does keep a secret from another character. Tired cliche, but the way that they resolve it, refreshing. Such a refreshing show to watch characters actually care about each other and try to work towards helping each other. Yes, I'm on season 2 right now, halfway through it, and really enjoying it. We watched the Christmas episode the other day. It's fantastic. So watch that Ted Lasso. And the thing is, when I started watching it, I was like completely lost because I thought the show was about a serial killer or something with Henry Winkler. I'm like, what show is this, Ted Lasso? I thought this was thing, and then I realized the show was Barry, who has another guy from SNL on it, and I got the two shows convinced. The show is Ted Lasso. You would like it, Duke. Ted Lasso. And look at that, we got Dean in here.
Hey, Dino.
There you go. So watch that. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet.
Never heard of it.
Well, it's got Sudeikis. Is that his name? Jason Sudeikis. That was on SNL.
I don't know.
And then a bunch of unknowns. I was actually on a Zoom call with one of the people who's on that show. He plays Roy Kent, but I hadn't watched the show yet, so I had no idea who he was. And then afterwards, like, oh, I did a Zoom call with that guy. I wish I would have watched the show. All right, join the Fandangler Elite over on Discord. If you need an invite, let us know, and we'll get you an invite into the Fandango Discord. Stuff's been happening there.
Hey, I went to that.
Vox was on there. Special shout out to Kyle, who went the extra distance, filled out the assignment, last week's assignment, to go to the Discord and show his Resident Evil movie collection. Not only did he show us that, but he also gave us a rear view. There's a rear shot on there. So go check it out. I posted just about an hour ago. I did all, or I guess it was 2 hours ago because the episode's going on long. But I posted all my Resident Evil movies on there. So go check that out. It's good times. But you can only get that on Discord. If you're not an elite and you're a peasant, you can still follow us on Twitter. We're at retro_Fandango. That's it. Get a boner with Retro Fandango. Planes crashed on 2021. Happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas. Stay safe. Wear your mask. Try not to go to too big of an event. It can get scary with this Omicron business.
Just stay home and have a sandwich. Have a nice sandwich.
Go to Montreal and have a Montreal steak sandwich.
Just told everybody to stay home.
Well, I mean, go out a little bit. I said don't go to like too big of events. That's the thing, right? Like it's the big events. Just try to keep it small. Maybe outdoors if you can. It's cold. There we go. All right, that's it. Duke says Merry Christmas. Thanks, Duke. Podcast of the year 2021.
Ho.
Wow, it says Rocket Sauce. That is a huge endorsement.
Big praise.
Well, I think all the other ones are gone, so I think we're the only ones left. So we win by default once again.
Default.
Right.
That's
on.
My favorite words.
Okay. So thanks, Dean. I see Dean. I see Mrs. Q Dog, and we had I Got Kings. Might still be here. Who knows? That was it. That was enough. That was good. It had a good turnout after all.
Yeah. Well, we got to say goodbye to the important people.
That's right. The people who matter. People who matter. People who are busy around the holidays. Come on. You don't have time to sit here and listen to us yammer on about stupid stuff. Come on.
We continued the conversation about Blu-ray girthness.
Yeah, you missed it. You guys missed it all. You're going to have to go back. And we discovered so much about Blu-ray. Like, look at, these are all Blu-rays, and look how girthy they are. Look how girthy. You missed it all. You missed it. All right. That's it. Bye, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody. See you next time.
Bye. Ending.